Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shining Hawk Healing. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful to all of you for subscribing, for hanging with us, for supporting us, and just generally just laughing with us, which is what we need so much today. Thank you to my my guest Adrian from Lentil Healing. Johnie from Tarot's Apprentice, and Seanna Rose. You can't see my finger. From Seanna Rose Metaphysical. Thank you guys for being here. Let's start with Adrian. Adrian, how are you today?
I am very, very good. Thank you for asking. I'm trying to think of housekeeping. Book an appointment to buy products. Go to redlentilhealing.com. I have a reunion that I may record next week and upload to the YouTube that I think people may enjoy. But that is all contingent upon if I can get my reunion people together before we all go to bed at 8:00 p.m. So, when you're over the age of 39.
You go to bed at 8?
Oh, I like to shut it down around 8:00. I like to not have to be around other people around 8:00 at night. That I don't have anything.
How about you, Seanna? How are you?
I'm all right. This retrograde has been kind of weird, but I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out here with you guys today, and then tomorrow on my channel, we will be channeling messages from 3 different angels. As soon as I was setting that stream up, I had Metatron, Raphael, and Sandalphon. They came in all at the same time, and they're like, "Ooh, me." So I picked those 3. With that, it'll be on my channel tomorrow, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that's noon Pacific. Do the math, But that's what I'm up to. Otherwise, if you haven't already checked this out, I do have a coloring book, 30 Days of Positive Thinking. I have been a little bit busy with it lately.
Yeah, I'm starting this one here.
I'm not going to desecrate your coloring book by coloring in it because I failed coloring in preschool and kindergarten. Through 3rd grade.
And it's available Johnie, online at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. Go online and pick up that book. It's just amazing. I think I have the wrong pencils that I'm using because these are really,
watercolor.
I think they might be. I think they're actually chalk pastel, so they shed a little bit and it gets kind of messy. So I have to look for some different pencils. How are you, Johnie?
You fancy, huh? They look real fancy. What you got? You want to edit your
belated birthday, Tony?
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Thank you. 1 year older. Yay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was nice. It was very, very laid back. Had to a lot of stuff that I was sending out yesterday in the mail, and it was just like one thing after another went like.
Retrograde, she wear dollar store panties.
Mm-hmm.
Does.
How about you, Johnie?
I was like, yeah.
That's been my mood all week.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Johnie, because I was thinking Johnny's birthday's coming up, and then it reminded me that Tony's birthday just passed.
Nothing. So, what did you ask me?
Well, how are you? And do you have any housekeeping?
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
But I have a stream in 4 days for my birthday, and we will do a soul chat type thing to where we'll do just some conversation. I have a whole front and back page of questions, so I'm sure we'll get to all of those. But so we'll do that, and that's all I got. Oh, this Sunday is on my channel, so I guess I better say that too. on Sunday at 8 p.m. It'll be me, Becca, Lori, and Adrian. We will be live on Sunday. And Jen is in Sedona right now. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I have a tarot class that I will be starting in August the 5th. So if you are interested, just email me so I can save you a seat, but don't pay me anything because August is a long ways away, and
Can you save me a
life
seat?
might decide you have to go this way instead of that way. So, you know.
Can you save me a seat?
No.
I was being sincere, but okay. You and your food rooms.
Okay.
And your food, your raggedy, holy. They supposed to be white, but they beige.
Underwear is
They
illegal.
didn't start out beige. They just got beige.
Take your damn class anyway.
You can't come. Only the oldies.
So, okay, so a little housekeeping for me is the website is up and the cards are in. And if you've gotten a message from me, if you've back ordered and you've gotten an email from me, then yay. If you haven't gotten an email from me, then email me and let me know you didn't get an email from me. So yay. Today we're gonna do
Are they coming out next month?
Yes, officially. There are a few people who back ordered that once I got the packaging together, I was able to send those orders out. So those orders have been filled and the people should have gotten an email from me saying it's on their way.
So somebody out there is going to have cards already.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
That's what happens when you pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
When you pre-order, instead of waiting to order, your pre-order gets pre-ordered.
No, your pre-order gets pre-ordered, not filled.
Your pre-order gets
Okay, so
all that too.
let me say it this way: if you go to my website and order a deck of cards, I will send them out to you right away. So actually, the hard release date was going to be June 15th, but everything sort of just fell into place. So
That's good.
some people are getting theirs a little early than that.
Congratulations.
So they're available.
Some hype for everybody else.
Well, I mean, they're available. I'm just going to say they're available. And, I'm going to make the unboxing thing on the 15th. And then that'll be the unboxing day now. So, except they don't come in a box.
I cannot wait to see the unboxing.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yay. So let's get to the questions. I don't know if everybody's heard that grain shortages are on the rise. And so rice, wheat, corn, all of that stuff is there are shortages because there's a shortage of water. There's a shortage of, there's a chain supply, whatever, stoppages and stuff like that. So there's this thing called inset, which is an indigenous perennial crop that is mainly cultivated and used in Ethiopia. It is referred to as the false banana, and it's said to replace the top 3 grains that we depend on for our nutrition. So my question is, will this grain, this new grain that we've discovered, but the people in Ethiopia have been using for years, will it catch on in the more industrial areas of the world? So I'm going to use these cards.
As you should. Thank you very much.
I'm going to get really, really dinged up by these two over here.
Johnie beat me too because I was like trying to play it cool and I was getting the link to put in the chat. And I saw Johnie over there. I was like, oh, wait, I hope he's not beating me to it. And that was thank you, Johnie.
Thank you, Johnie.
I'm excited for you.
I am too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Can't
you.
wait till June when mine show up.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Now I'm nervous.
Don't be.
So
Even
inside,
if they are trash, we're gonna tell you they're wonderful to your face anyway. So don't worry about it.
It's true.
we still gotta support you and rock with you because you are yours. So calm down. It'll be good.
thank you.
Because I'll make a whole video. Somebody say something negative. And you
I will scorch the earth and be like, I wish you go make a deck of cards. Damn.
I mean, start with looker.
and with that. What was the question? Oh, will it catch on?
Will this insect grain, this perennial crop, will it catch on? It's called inset, ENSET.
That's not what
It sounds Egyptian, doesn't it?
It sounds like incest. So no, it does not sound. It sounds Alabama.
In ancient Egypt, I mean, the Pharaoh
Incest
would marry off
is
somebody in their their own family, but that's not what we're going for here.
That's why Tutankhamun was so messed up, right?
That's why a lot of them had
was his
they had a lot of genetic illnesses and
Yeah.
He had the big
I think
jaw
was
and it
the other
looked like
one.
he had a boot in it.
It was his own brother. Seanna Rose, I quoted you today,
Did you? Oh no.
and I zero regrets. My vice president was talking about, like, somebody said a comment that was like, everyone's like, and he said, I think John has started the weekend a little early. And we're like, oh, so we initially thought he was talking about maybe John's drinking. And he said, John put the lighter down. So we're like, he's thinking he's smoking crack. And I didn't miss a beat because people were like, oh, because it did sound like he smoked crack. The comment was just that off field. So to help John's back, these all names are fictional, by the way. I said, oh, John had 3 bowls for breakfast and they weren't cereal. So, and then I went, hashtag Sean Rose. And we got a thunderous applause. Everybody laughed hysterically, and I gave you 100% credit. So there you go.
Good. Okay. I'm glad it worked.
Yes.
Oh.
You're gonna have to make T-shirts now, Sienna Rose.
Oh, I know. Merch.
3 bowls for breakfast, and they were
3 bowls for breakfast, and none of them cereal.
My vice president said he is going to say that again in the future. He laughed the hardest.
So what you got?
Is this going to take on? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Lord help me. Why do I have to keep repeating questions today?
Okay, all day today that was me, and I thought, okay, maybe it's just me. And right after you say it, I say, "What is the question again?"
I asked 4 times. Each one of y'all mother suckers has told me 4 times what the question was. I'm pull cards. I'm looking at it. I got the answer. Wait, what was the exact question again? Okay. Will it catch on? Yes, unfortunately. And it's not going to be to the people who have that country, that resource's best interest. Are going to monopolize it with the devil at the crown and the star at the base of this.
I also got that.
This has been an eye-opening experience, and they want to hold on. Oh my God, there's just, I hate to say it, but that rape and pillage frequency is a motherfucker. Let's go and take what resources we can. Let's hold on, because things weren't working in the past with the 8 of Pentacles and shortages. However, ding, 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 and the here and now with this Ace of Pentacles, here's this new thing. Here's this new way to get monies. Here's the effed up part, though. They know it's wrong, and the emotions is the Tower. They know it's wrong. They know it's wrong because actually this resource is a lot more limited, I'm getting, that they think it is with the Knight of Wands. It's there, but it's a lot more limited.
Yeah. It doesn't have the protein. It doesn't have the protein that some of the other grains have. I think that
would make sense. There's something I'm getting with the Knight of Wands in the environment. There's something that is not as abundant, or something they're going to have to reharvest, recultivate. It's not what they think, and they know. And so their word of warning is to go slow. Go slow. But the Three of Wands, they're already making plans how to bastardize this. They know it's a cash crop. They know that they're greedy. They're just waiting for the ship to come in and how they can get the profits.
That's basically what I got too, actually. I have here, ideally, okay, here's another way to feed the world. This will really help other people. That's ideally. Challenge, though, is there are people that are kind of like scheming behind the scenes. They're like, well, there's got to be some way that we can get something out of it to benefit us. Like, yeah, whatever, it'll feed other people, but we can't just do this for free. Or, you know, like they have to gain something from it. There is going to be fighting over this resource. That raid the village energy, I kind of felt that too.
Wow.
And it sucks. It shouldn't have to come to that, but it might. There is a lot of worry already for people who already like farm this type of vegetable or grain or whatever. Like there's a lot of worry that something is going to be taken away from them. So, you know, it could be like their livelihood. It could be like there could be some kind of freedoms taken away or something like that. I'm not really sure. I have that it will help a little bit, at least at first, until things, you know, like you were saying, Adrian, like that they should really be careful and go slow and kind of, you know, maybe they should ration it or something a little bit. But at first, things are actually going to be good, and it is going to be helpful. It's going to be what people need. It's one of those like, I don't know, when they need it most, it was finally available. But a lot of people behind the scenes have some really gross intentions. It shouldn't be hard to just feed people. But that's what I
got. So I messed the question up, naturally, because why not during retrograde? I said, would it catch on here? And I get no. The Four of Cups and the Eight of Swords, it is a limited thing, whatever it is, like extremely limited. But it's not extremely limited because you can't grow it or distribute it. It's being manipulated with the Devil and the Ten of Cups. There is some community somewhere. It's enough of them, though, to where they control the market type thing. So it's not like, you know, Bolivia has it and nobody else does. It's like a group of people instead of groups of countries. So it's being manipulated. There will be some success with it in like its native place, but elsewhere it's manipulated. And it's
Johnie, do you mean manipulated in the quality or the quantity or
that quantity? Well, actually anything that has to do with it. Sort of like we can grow it, we can distribute it, but you have to give me this, or you have to make this kind of deal. It's all corrupted though. It's not like manipulated in a good way to where, okay, we just need to organize its shipments to places, or we need to have some sort of logistics and manpower behind getting it to remote places, or like Ukraine, who's running out of grains and things of that nature, to those type of places. No, this is like, oh, do you really need it? Okay, so such and such is going to pay us $10 a bushel. What are you going to pay type thing? So it's corrupted manipulations by groups of people here. Because why not? Nothing's free but germs.
are they free?
They'll give you those.
Because I'm in the nail shop today. I'm getting this finger replaced. At least it wasn't this finger. It was this finger.
The entire finger.
This finger.
One finger.
You live in the future.
I sit down, got my mask on, sitting in a little corner. This heifer comes and sits next to me at all the chairs. And she's it's a full-on breather.
And I looked, because she takes up all the chairs.
And I looked her dead in her face and said, ew. And I got up and walked away. And was dramatic about it. And I'm like, you going now? And she literally was just, I don't think I've ever seen a real life mouth breather before.
It's like, are you trying to write in the window? Could you do it over there?
Oh, like, I was just like, I know because I was like, this is gonna start a fight, and I'm ready for it today. Knuck if you buck. Let's go. Let's go. And I literally went ill, and I got up and walked away, and I made a scene, and I was just like, you're nasty. Yeah. It'd be different if you're like unmasked because CDC says whatever, that's see some kiss my ass, but whatever. And you're like, sitting there on your phone, like, no, you're like,
she was cleaning her glasses.
Oh my God.
As we used to say back in the day, close your mouth before somebody puts something in it.
We'd say a fly. A fly's gonna fly in it.
There's a lot of things in that one. So when you just said free germs, I just went back.
That's people will share germs if they share nothing else.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing they'll share sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I get, yes, there's a plant, there's a grain, there's a all of this newness to it, and which is causing a movement, some motion in the direction of helping solve some of the crisis that's happening. It's the ideas that are coming up about it. They are saying that it's clarity. It's bringing the topic, the issue of famine and hunger and all that stuff to the forefront again, because this might be something that they can really use. But at the end of the day, everything, like you said, Johnie, gets corrupted. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to catch on, or if it does, if it's going to be effective, because they did say that the protein content was really low. So you really have to, put more protein into your diet, even with this. So I don't know.
I will say though, it's a bit rough when you're still malnutritioned, but kind of just as a small light in the storm. At least somebody's belly might be full, but you may still lack nutrition, but you've got to eat something. And so it's kind of like you see people homeless on the street and you give them McDonald's hamburger instead of grapes and spinach, but at least they got to eat something. So, there's a silver line in it a little bit there, but good God.
Yeah. And okay, so we're going to stay in the same vein of nutrition and go to the shortage of baby formula. And is this happening all over the world or just in the United States? Is it happening? I don't know.
I believe it's the U.S. because the company is called Abbott.
Yep.
And they have been shut down for not the CDC. It was the FDA shut them down because of, health and germs and all that. And they were just taking a precaution. They said that there was nothing wrong, but they had to be sure. But the FDA says, no, I think something was wrong. And so they're having this battle right now. So but the administration itself is trying to do something about the shortage, but nobody has a direct solution right now.
They're trying to bring in several things. They're either trying to bring in, three things. They're trying to bring in additional, we call them FDA people, to kind
inspectors.
That's the word. They kind of look around each corner, wink, wink, pass it. They're clean, right? Second thing they're also doing is bringing in the different companies that are contracted through the government already to kind of help clean. And then a third thing they're also trying to do is provide additional funding, not to help bring in formula, but they're trying to pass or trying to kind of, I don't sneak is a very strong word, trying to reallocate money to help whatever their thing they failed to help get it cleaned up so they can start.
It's kind of like they did with the masks, because they're trying to invoke some sort of defense spending thing or emergency defense spending to where you can allocate funds really fast to sort of fix a problem, like they did with COVID when it first happened, and we ran out of masks and ran out of hand sanitizer, ran out. It's like if you have a clothing company, the government will send you money just to make masks or so forth and so forth. So they're trying to scramble, but this company kind of shut down the world right now.
Shut down the United States.
Yeah.
And I was watching trolling on the social initially, especially because really this particularly impacts, black and brown communities. They were all trying to help each other. Like, hey, if you go and buy some formula from Seanna's neck of the woods on the Amazon, it can get here, and within like hours, Amazon caught on and shut that shit down.
Wow. So that's my question. Is this shortage being manipulated somehow? Is it a real thing? Is it real?
Their formula really was tainted. I mean, they allegedly, they say it wasn't, but the FDA say it was, and they're saying that the people who got sick, or the babies who got sick from the formulas, they had other health conditions, and it wasn't the formula that did it. Is what the company is saying, not the hospitals, of course, but that's what the company is saying. So it wasn't manipulated.
Boy, Mercury retrograde is going on for everyone. You get a Mercury retrograde. You get a Mars. You
wear dollar store panties that are made of burlap.
And that disgusting orange bronzer. All over her face. And she stops right at her chin and doesn't do her neck.
Maybe it is Trump, because Mercury is actually a man. So maybe.
Oh, Seanna, that reminded me of like all the makeup in like the early 2000s, how like the face would be like dark and then like
orange
the neck would be,
I went to high school with so many girls that had Oompa Loompa makeup like that.
Like, if you're not passing out chocolate bars, do something about this.
That sounds so good right now.
What is happening?
It does. I really want some chocolate now.
Right?
I know. Last night I went to dinner at a steakhouse and they gave me truffles, but I was just, I was too tired to eat them. But they're in the fridge. I'm gonna have them later.
So yummy.
How do you get too tired to eat?
I mean,
you can get too tired to cook, but if you make it, I'm gonna find the energy somewhere.
I have never in my black ass existence been too tired to consume food,
especially junk food.
Come on.
Anthony said truffles, mushrooms. Like,
this is also coming from the same person who says she doesn't like to think about food or like whatever. So that doesn't surprise me. So. Yeah, this is true.
I get so tired of thinking about food. I don't want to think about what to eat.
I can see that one. But if you give me something good, I'm gonna find some energy to eat it.
I can't. I fantasize. I wake up fantasizing about what I would like to eat. I go to bed fantasizing about what I'm gonna eat tomorrow. So no, that is not my problem.
Just don't ask me to cook when I'm tired, because
right. Right, and I'm always tired these days. So.
I don't even like waiting for the pan to heat up, so I know I don't like this. It's the most annoying thing in the world.
Have you ever been so trifling? You were too trifling to cook, but also too trifling to order something.
And then you end up eating some crackers and some peanut butter and jelly.
Because I do it to myself, and then everything closes, and I'm like.
Or you can't have the thing you're craving because the restaurant is closed for delivery or whatever, and you're like, well, I'm just not gonna eat anything.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with a spoon and peanut butter and just because I ain't even got no bread, because you would take the milk, to the store. It's like, oh my God, just forget it. I don't know.
That happened to me the other day. So this is the epitome of fatness. Is this being manipulated? I am getting conflicting ass answers. I get yes and no. This one's hard. Something is lost, something's gone, something is so, and this is also one of my quintessential no card, the 10 of Swords. But however, though, the challenge is the 8 of Wands. There's something like I don't know. 5 of Wands, there's some type of conflict, but it's causing a major change or some type of I get particularly like infighting. Or maybe like, who's their competitor? Is there a competitor? Is there somebody who comes close to second?
Nestle, maybe? That's the only other one I can think of.
Because I'm getting
But see,
like,
they're like the parent
There's a lot of
company to
companies
other things, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I've never in the world seen Abbott baby formula.
never in the. I
No,
don't even
just
know
Similac and
Similac, Enfamil, and Gerber.
Enfamil and Gerber, yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm wondering then, and it's funny because I look at the card and then I said it, not thinking this, so Spirit's talking through me clearly. I'm wondering if this was a manipulation set up by somebody else, because also in the here and now I get the Wheel of Fortune. Some kind of major fate change.
Kind of like a sabotage.
I just heard the Beastie Boys. Yeah, because in the environment is the Judgment card.
Sorry.
I can't stand it. I know you planned it, right? They're confused though. They're like, how did we get to this point with the Ace of Wands in the environment? They're also treading lightly because I think they may know, because especially with the 5 of Wands, if I read the cards across, it is the 5 of Wands, the Chariot, and the Sun. They know that they're moving slowly because they know that somebody told them there's some manipulation afoot, or there's some badnaggery afoot. So is this manipulated? I get no, but is there something else going on? I'm wondering if it's, and again, not everything is a conspiracy theory. I get that, but I'm getting too many conflicting answers to say yes or no.
You know, I just heard that in my head. I heard in my head that there is there is a sort of an underground campaign to blame this on Biden, to make this his, to sort of like paint him in the picture of you're killing babies kind of thing for entertainment purposes only.
But Abbott's the one taking the hit though, right?
Yeah, but
They're
he's
trying
president.
everything they can to deflect, but that's yes.
Yeah.
Because they're pointing all the fingers at other people saying, well, it wasn't us. We're doing this as a precaution, is what they keep trying to say, when it's not their idea to pull all their formula off the shelves. But yeah. Okay.
Some don't feel, long story short, some don't feel right. I just can't quite figure out. I have ideas of where the dirty sock is.
Yeah, if Trump hadn't removed all his regulations, baby formula wouldn't be an issue today. Because, okay, go ahead, Seanna.
Well, okay, I got kind of weird answers too. And these cards that I have are actually describing what, like Abbott, what the company is doing. And if they're trying to manipulate anything, I mean, technically, yes, they are. They're trying to get back the trust of moms. I mean, I get it. Dads are parents too. I whatever. But from what I'm getting here, the company just sees moms as their demographic. The moms are the ones that are usually going out and getting the groceries and, you know, buying the products. So they want to get the trust of the mothers back. But the problem is it's going to take a really long time after something like this. And I get, like, they do sincerely want to figure this out because they don't want to be responsible for anyone else getting sick or dying. What they want to, I guess, if they're trying to manipulate anything, it's the relationship between the customers and the company. They're trying to figure out how can we make amends so that, I mean, yeah, one, this doesn't happen again, but two, how can we get the consumers to trust us again? So they're trying to figure that out. I also have that there is, like, secret, I guess, details and stuff, like in new findings. What I was hearing was new findings. They're trying to, like, lock them down. We can't let anything get out until we know for sure. And if anyone hears anything, it's going to be from us. They're trying really hard to keep all of this, like, under wraps. What else do I have here? There's something here about, like, they're fighting really hard. I don't know. think Abbott themselves, like, I don't think they did that on purpose or whatever, but they are like really fighting to, it's like to get, what is the word, to right oneself, to get back up on your feet and keep going. It really does seem like somebody kind of wants them to fail almost, because like this is that self-defense card, like, okay, we're gonna figure out what happened and we're gonna do what we can to make things better, but like it's almost like there is somebody that's kind of trying to make it worse. They will eventually figure it out. There is some kind of a positive conclusion, and I think this is for the families and the consumers, that there's formula again and it's safe to use. They will go, I don't know if it's going to be business as usual, like right away. It's going to take time for people to trust them again, but eventually they will start. I'm hearing something about like units, so like selling units or whatever. It's going to take a while though. They're just trying to get everybody's trust back. They're trying to figure out what happened and then work on getting the trust back. So that's what Abbott's trying to manipulate, but I didn't get anything else other than that.
I've never worked in a factory before, but kind of the same thing happened when I was, where was I? Texas, where Bluebell, the ice cream company, they had a listeria outbreak and shut down every single one of their companies or factories. And one of them closed down permanently even. And it's just, it happens with Tyson chicken, and there's a recall because there's plastic in the chicken. And it happens with anybody else's company where your factory runs 24/7 and nothing is ever cleaned. But anyhow, the first card I get is the Eight of Swords. I did a smaller spread. The Eight of Swords, no, they didn't do this on purpose. The Justice and the Four of Swords, they limited them. They shut them down. But there is some sort of, it's going to be very difficult for the trust to be. This is my Queen of Cups, the motherly energy, and the Five of Cups, that disappointment. Sad thing is, alternative. Where is it? Everybody can't breastfeed. Not to mention, if you're a foster parent, you don't. If you're a same-sex couple, if you're two men, you don't. So what is the alternative? So it's like, now I have to use them because in my area, this is the one I can get. And there is a women and children thing too that's supposed to be trying to pass our government, which is not going to happen, unfortunately. That the TANF, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, and the WIC and all that type of stuff is also affected by this. And for you to go in to the store and your WIC voucher says Enfamil 12 ounces, you can't get Gerber, because your WIC voucher, if you go to the store and try to use it for something else, the store can't take it because they won't get their money back. So in order for them to give you one with a different name, they just have to give it to you for free, basically. So it's complicated, to say the least. But no.
Wow. I see that the intention the intention was not to kill babies, but that, so now they're dancing as fast as they can. There's movement, but it's them just trying to figure out which way to go. They're moving as fast as they can, dancing as fast as they can. There's a lot of orders and a lot of declarations coming in from the government, coming in from the top of the company down into the lower echelons. But it's all about trust now, because like Seanna was saying, the mothers it's going to be hard for the mothers to trust that they did not clean up their act. So there's the issue of trust there. So I don't see that it's being manipulated too much, other than, other outside entities taking this opportunity to use it as a cudgel for something else. So that's all I see. I don't know. I hope that it gets cleared up really soon. We'll just send out as much positive vibes and energy as we can to try to get this situation in order.
Can I have a little side note? Johnie said this, and I was thinking about, was it Bette Midler who made that horrible comment, which is sad because I typically like Bette Midler, who was like, oh, there's an answer to this, just breastfeed. And I was like,
some people can't. What if you've had cancer and had them both removed? You know?
Can we just learn to just shut our mouth sometimes?
Like,
please and thank you.
Yeah.
Because what if you just don't want to?
What if you just don't want to?
some people are on medications that they can't necessarily, they maybe had to go off it during pregnancy, and that was probably hard enough. They can't use certain medications and breastfeed at the same time. So you have to weigh out what's going to be better.
Wouldn't latch on. So what do you do then?
Yeah, and I don't think that
don't figure it out.
You know how they have those breastfeeding stores where you can go and store your breast milk or whatever, pump and store your breast milk. I know that it's a collective, and other mothers, if they're running out of breast milk for some reason, or if they want to donate it to, to the breast milk bank, I think, is that what it's called? Breast milk bank.
I mean, that sounds.
But here's the crux of my problem, and I'm going to call this out and call this particular person out. That is your opinion. Keep it to yourself. Period. This is not a moment to, well, this is healthy, or this is, shut up. People have different reasons, different needs. Leave it alone. I said that to say, can we just keep our opinions to ourselves? People have to do what is best for them, best for their child, best for their family. Point blank.
Honestly, as long as your kids are fed is best.
That's the conundrum, is that, we have so many people who have strong ideas about everything, and it's hard for them to stay quiet, especially at times like these. So I'm with Adrian. Just, if you don't have anything to contribute,
and mind you can contribute whatever, but just understand your life, your opinion, your business. Mine is different. You do not have the right, because I'm not giving you the right to put whatever you believe in my reality. That's just your feelings that belong in your body and your reality. Mine's different. If I had a child to raise, what do I do then? I don't lactate. So then what do I do? Go to the neighbor's house and say, hey, can you do it? So,
well, when I was a baby, we didn't have
Let
formula.
me borrow your boob for a minute.
When I was a baby, we didn't have
it up a little.
I don't think my mother had formula. They made formula out of pet milk and sugar and water.
Yeah.
That's what they made the formula out of, and it just made a lot of fat babies, but we got through it.
You got fed.
Yeah, and I was a fat baby.
They grow so fast, though, that might not be a bad thing.
I will never forget, my sister tried to breast when she was my niece was like hours old. She's trying to get my niece to latch on, and it was a struggle. And they're doing the little pen thing, and Lillian is just like
Of course.
and like the lactation nurse was like, just pinch your nose a little bit. And that was she did this when they went my baby hurts just thinking about it. All I saw was my sister went, yow! That little baby. We were like, oh God. She's like, that hasn't bit me.
yes, you did. That's yes.
I will never forget. I was like, I don't think you should pinch their little nose to get them to latch on. That's not.
Ain't no button says press here for milk. You got to do it the hard way.
Ooh, that was funny.
You want to lose a boob.
Just be glad she ain't got teeth like baby lions. So you be all right.
Well, baby pit bulls, oh my God, their teeth are just jagged and sharp as knives.
Yep.
It's crazy.
They were just like, okay, I didn't think baby had teeth. She's like, she doesn't have teeth. She's like, why did it hurt so bad? It was something. That's not just
like
gums.
Get it off. Get it off.
That was a bad visual. Just walking around with babies hanging like, get them
Oh, no.
You know what?
You know,
There's a
some people
card.
use decorative tassels.
There's a tarot card that looks just like that, Mike. If you Google
Just dying
Mary
over
L.
there.
Tarot Hierophant, you will see it. It's awful.
Oh, it's too funny. I just wanted to bring some light to the situation. Just don't pinch their nose.
You wanna
Because you'll
lose
have
it.
to walk around like this. Somebody get these off of me.
Or just throw your child, like my sister did.
Oh, your child.
We tell Lillian all the time, but like, you little messed up because your man flung you across the room.
But Auntie caught you. Don't worry. I'll hold it, bitch.
I didn't. How no? What's that? Her father caught her.
Good old frisbee. Just
Yep. Her father caught her.
get across.
Yeet.
They have a really good relationship now, right?
They're thick as thieves. They get each other. They speak each other's language. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
That is so funny.
I'm pretty sure a lot of you would not be happy with me telling that story to however many hundreds of people are watching, but oh well, that's what she gets me back for not calling me back today. So there you go.
Call your sister.
This is what it's like to be Adrian's sister.
When I text SOS, please call me. I need you to talk me off the ledge. And then I proceed to call you 2 hours later. You should call me back.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble, girl.
It's okay.
So let's stay with the shortages subject, or the issues of shortages. And so water, our water, Lake Mead, is, like we talked about it last week, about it drying up and bodies being found and everything. So is there going to be another great migration because of the water shortage? Will people migrate from where they are to another location, and what would that location be? Where should we go? Where's the place that's going to have water for us in the future?
Ocean.
We can't live without it. What are we going to do? Oh my gosh. Huh. Whoever's ready, you should just go. It'd be good.
So, short answer, the people who can afford it can go, or will go, might go. I can't speak for everybody. But that's what it looks like here.
Yep.
Because there's going to be that struggle. There's going to be people who are like, there's nothing for us here, but at the same time, we can't afford to leave. I wouldn't be surprised. And I do have a few cards that are all about like movement and stuff like that. Yeah, people are struggling. And there's well, this card, to me, it's one that of like trauma, ongoing. We're kind of like, I'm tired of this. I've lived through enough of this. Like, come on already. People are going to continue to struggle. Challenge is, it's going to be really difficult for some people to come together and like help each other, because when it comes to that, this is like a survival thing, really. When it comes to that kind of stuff, sometimes, people's fear kicks in, their survival instinct, their like self-preservation kicks in. And sometimes that causes people to be like, well, you're on your own, screw you, I'm taking care of myself. Yeah, some people will go. It depends. I think it just depends on like where, because
do you get a
some
sense,
places-
Seanna, where people might go? Do you get a sense?
no,
I do.
I don't. But what I get a sense of is like they're gonna go. It's like where the water is, where
Yeah.
it's clean. Yeah, and I keep getting the word. Is it potable? Potable. That's when it's drinkable. Try and find water that is actually like safe to use. Now I do have another challenge though. I do have like some people are gonna be facing great disappointment because some places might close their borders or not. They'll make it very hard for others to come in and it's kind of gross because it's like, yeah, we know you need help, but we just conveniently aren't taking any people right now. You're gonna have to find somewhere else to go, or they're gonna make it very difficult to get in. Like there's gonna be like difficulties. We think that the retrograde is hard to get anything done, like applications and stuff like that, because I don't know how the whole immigration and refugee and moving, I don't really know how that works on an international scale, but I do see something about documents like purposely taking a long time to process and stuff conveniently not going through. Convenient for the people who don't want to let anybody in. Because I was seeing that. However,
Idaho.
What else is present in human nature? Because, yeah, we do have the survival thing where it's like, you're on your own, I'm taking care of me. We do have a part of us that goes, well, I don't want you to suffer either. So there will be some people who will help each other and try and figure out a way to fix this or make this better. It's going to be hard, especially with people who can't afford to leave, or depending on where you're leaving, pay bribes and stuff. For the people who can't afford it, it's going to be really, really, really hard. I think some people will. Sorry, that took me a really, really long time, so whoever's ready is going to go next.
Adrian?
Yeah, same thing. It is definitely going to happen. And the sad part is it's whoever has the means and resources to go to higher ground with the 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Swords. Very, 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 very sad. There are going to be communities where they're going to have to actually board up and walk away. Like Vegas may look like a ghost town. Again, guys, don't pack up. Don't panic. It's not like it's going to happen in the next 20, 30, 40 years. It could even be several hundred years now when we're gone. They are going to go somewhere that is uncharted territory, and they're going to have to create it almost with a Queen of Swords, the Fool, and the Ace of Wands. It is somewhere that we have not clearly, right? Because humans are selfish and we're greedy and we're nasty. And like Johnie said, the only thing that we are willing to share is germs. So, got a whole bunch of mouth breathers on this planet. I don't have an out of space card, but it's like, so I don't necessarily think it's going to be like, we're going to be going to Mars or Mercury or anything, but it's going to be uncharted territory. And it's going to be a lot of time to kind of figure that out. Especially with the Fool card and with the Ace of Wands. It's something new. Somewhere
that's never been urbanized before, maybe.
Well, we have some great migration. Yes and no. Not right now. You want some water, then just head south and everything there is about to drown. So just take it up north somewhere. So there is the 3 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. So there's bad news on the way. Has something to do with your resources. So there's that. The government has some sort of initiative that it wants to take. This is an attempt, though. Problem is, you can irrigate something into one place, but it's not necessarily safe to drink. And then sometimes it's safe to drink if you boil it, or they'll have the warnings, don't use bleach in your water. But in an emergency, a very, very small cap of bleach in a large thing of water will purify it. But don't do that right offhand. Try an alternative first. But
and for real, it has to be a half of the cap.
Yes.
I used to work at I was a barista one time in my life, and I opened the cafe that morning, and so you have to put the cap full of bleach in the bucket of water. When I tell you the splash of the splash went over of the cap into the bucket, and that was the day the health inspector came and shut down the cafe because it was people. I get true ass story.
What?
Because it's a poison. I mean, to us, but it kills anything.
it was like a half of a splash splashed out of the cap as I was going to put it in a shirt. The whole cafe had been shut down. He's absolutely 100% correct.
The migration part, I gotta agree. It's something that's blocked. The 4 of Swords, they want you to stay in place. 10 of Swords, because your crisis, again, this is why I say the initiative. They're trying something here. There's an attempt by your government, your local government. I don't see this being a big federal issue, because if you want everything to be states' rights, then it's states' problems too. And so there's something here about stopping people from going from place to place. The only time, because you go out of state with the out of state license plate, they're going to stop you in some places, not all places. But I know for here, if when I was in Florida, if you don't have a Florida license plate, they will stop you. At least where I was. And
they stop you just driving on the street without a
It's
Florida.
the goofiest thing, because that's where the place I lived was dependent on tourism. Yes, it depended upon tourism. Why are you stopping me?
Only if you're black, right?
Well, that's probably had something to do with it too.
Yeah. Yeah. So the search is on for clean water. People are looking for a way to get closer to the source. Great Lakes, the Great Lakes region. They're going to get creative about how different states, like you can buy water from this state, or you have an agreement, you're going to share water from this state or whatever. So they're going to have to get creative, because like you said, some people are not going to be able to afford to move. So that whole thing is going to have to they're going to have to jerry rig something. Is it jury rig or jerry rig or whatever they say?
You call it something completely
That's
different.
the clean version. Use that one.
There's got to be some communication. There's going to be, people, going, this is where you can get water. This is where you should move. So, there's going to be a sort of a national communication going on. But there, like you said, people are shutting people out. They're saying, no, you're not. You better go someplace else. And Adrian, the unknown, the uncharted territory, that's where they're going to be looking, because this is the regulation of the water is halted because the water is no longer there. So, communicate.
Bill Gates. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Bill Gates funded a machine to turn trash and waste into clean drinking water, and it's on YouTube somewhere if you Google or whatever, because he was shown drinking, well, like the commercials, how they drink, and it's like the water level never goes down. It's like, so
yeah,
I don't know if he really drank it. It's a thing he funded it. I don't know, he didn't create it, but
and it's tasty too.
Mm-hmm.
Here. So speaking, we're speaking on migration. Now we're looking at the RVs and the tricked out vans and the tiny houses. Those are becoming very popular now. Will we as a society pare down our living spaces? Will tiny houses be the norm? Well, we used to live in huts, right? We have
back to it.
Yeah, we know.
History repeats. It just looks a little different.
These friggin' neck mansions where you need a intercom just to talk to you. It's like, come on, really? You need all that space? You could house 5 families in some of these places here in California. It's like that. You don't need that much. And then, you have to be up on a friggin' hill so you can look down on everybody and thumb your nose.
Hey, listen, I would if I could, I would. Sorry, I'm superficial.
I was watching Ellen and Shaquille O'Neal on an interview, and they showed Shaquille's house, you know, and it looks like a little country. And the first thing she said is, "That's a lot of house," because she's got 5 of them. So I don't know why that came out her mouth, but she said, "You got to," and she went into like homie Susie homemaker mode. She was like, "You got to run the water all over the house because then your pipes will corrode because you don't use that part of the house anymore." And I'm like, "Oh, good God, that's too much maintenance. I couldn't do it." I mean, I know you got people, but God, dog.
I would.
Adrian would walk around the house going, "Hey,
no. With my luck to be haunted, there's not enough goddamn shamans to clear that bitch. That's what I would get for being greedy on all that house."
Oh my God. So will we realize as a society that we are just taking up too much space, and will we downsize our lives? That is the question.
No, we won't realize we're taking up too much space. We're humans. We are taking up too much space when we got here. So it's no. You know, the birds and the trees. I'm going to cut your tree down so I can build my house. So that's we give no care about space. Relocation, though, here's the thing that it will catch on. It will be a little trend for a little while, where people will live, especially if wages don't rise. People will live in more economical things. The problem is, though, there's still a manner of money. If you got a little house, where are you going to put it? You can't just put it in the middle of the street. You can't put it in the air. You still have to have land somewhere that you got to put it on. Now, it doesn't take as much land, but you still need to put it somewhere. Your RV, where are you going to park it? You also have to gas.
Allowed.
Yeah, wherever. And that's a whole nother thing. So when I lived in California, there was a marina bay behind us, and people lived in their boats, and they had a little laundry offsite and a little shower thing and all that. So people will find ways to be creative with the strength and the will of fortune. But the 5 of Wands and 8 of Cups, the trend will be over, and they'll move on to something else because it's not sustainable for them.
Exactly.
People still like, you know.
I'm getting something too where there's already a changing thought in how these communities, how you live mobily. Because what's happening is that, let's be real, TikTok tried to make it cute, but a lot of people are living this way because they cannot afford rent. They cannot afford whatever. They can't afford to buy a house. So they took their $18,000 and bought, spent $5 to buy a bus and spent the other $10 to renovate it, and then the other whatever's left, $5, $15, $3,000, they're going to spend gassing and trying to live in different places. What's happening though is that 8 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, this is going to turn into greed and about money because of the whole community-based living. It is going to be very difficult to continue. What they're going to happen? Slow down, Mercury retrograde. Together. What's going to happen is your RV parks, your places like Johnie had in California. When he's talking about California, places where you can go and post up. It's almost going to be like a country club. They're just checking prices. You can't just come and park here overnight or for 5 days. Or if you do, it's going to cost $800,000. And at that point, I might as well buy a damn house. And then we're going to have, like John, my outcome card was the 8 of Cups. You're going to have the retreat. We're going to go back to how things were because that nomad type living, that mobile living that people did, because that was the alternative because they could not afford it or they wanted to do something different, they're going to have to move away from that because it's going to just become, trying to sustain that type of community is what I'm getting, is going to just become too burdensome.
Actually got a very similar thing because I have 6 of Pentacles here. This is like the tiny, well, I don't know what they call it, but like the tiny house community, the people that live in those areas, like they're helping each other out. But it's almost like because they have to, maybe they want to, and maybe they enjoy it, but there is this like having to sort of energy about it. This might be attractive to people, like people with really low income or households that only have, 1 or 2 people where it's not that complicated. You're not trying to find space for you, your spouse, and your 4 kids in a school bus, basically. like there's a lot of stress, and that's like the side of this whole like nomadic living and whatever that I think a lot of those people don't show.
Yeah.
Is that there's a lot of stress. And that could be about a bunch of different things. You know, it could be about money. It could be about where am I allowed to stay, or how long can I stay here, or am I safe here? Things like that. As far as like the tiny houses go, maybe some real estate companies will sort of pick up on this. Maybe they're popular in some areas. And so it'll be like, oh, well, they'll pay more attention to the tiny houses, maybe prioritize like trying to sell them. Or it's just like, we need to unload this on someone. So they make the offer really attractive or whatever. But as far as like people, us as a society realizing that we take up too much space, people just in general don't actually realize that it's the material stuff that's taking up all the space. They actually don't realize how excessive it is. They just are like, oh, well, this is just part of life. Everybody, you know, you grow up, you go to college, you get a car, you live in a house, you raise your family in a house, or you know, a lot of people don't realize that that they're the ones that are, you know, taking up that space. They don't have the awareness yet. I don't see any like major shifts. I just see something small, and it might be just with some communities, some people. But I'm not seeing like everybody in North America or you know, everybody in the world like moving to this kind of lifestyle.
Oh, you're muted, Tony.
Yeah. So I think the intention is to find a way to live your life without having all of that overhead. You know, the mortgage and the insurance and the water bills and the this and that. I guess I don't know. I have always been sort of enamored with the whole tiny house community because it just seems like I don't really want to have a whole lot of stuff anymore. I just want to just not dust anything. I'm so tired of dusting. I'm tired of food. I'm tired of dusting. I'm tired of mopping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of all of it. So the intention is to, you know, pare it down. But we still have the shadow of things. We need things. We always need things. Things. We need things. And this is the end all, be all, end all of our lives, is that, you know, status and money and power and things. Our ego has a lot to do with, you know, keeping up with the Joneses and all that stuff. So I don't think we're going to, you know, go into full, you know, pare down mode. This is like the tower. Breakdowns lead to breakthroughs. This is like the tower. So I think if somebody runs into financial trouble, then they might think, let me do this in order for me to get out of that. So, and then they have to move and move and move and move and move and move. It's a journey, move. So a lot of change happening. But I don't think it's going to catch on like it's because the tiny house thing's been going on for, you know, a good 15 years now. And if it hasn't caught on yet, it probably won't. So
it needs a TV show. Something to make it look more trendy, like a HGTV just dedicated to building tiny homes for people.
They have those shows. That's why I watch them all the time.
And bus talk is huge. They call it bus talk.
Bus talk?
Where people live in buses or
I
like
actually know
renovated
buses. Bought a
buses?
school bus and renovated it. They're making it into a tiny house. It looks really cool.
That's a pretty big trend on TikTok. Call it bus talk.
I can't do it. Studio apartment, yes. Tiny house, no.
Really?
If it was just like one or two people, I think that would be like fine, or people who travel a lot or whatever. But I wouldn't raise a family in a tiny house because people need privacy, and you're not going to get that in a house that's like a shoebox. You're not going to get that when you live in a closet, basically.
Was it Rusty? I know Andrea Yates. You guys remember she killed her 5 babies, drowned them in the bathtub?
It was, I forget her name.
It's Andrea Yates. I think her husband was Rusty.
Oh, yeah.
Crusty.
Andrea.
Jesus.
Krusty the Clown.
Here's why I thought to call him Krusty, because their spiritual leader, their guru, told them to like get rid of everything and move. They literally had a house, they sold it, they moved them and their 4 kids into a not even a big camper, a small camper, and the kids had to sleep in the cargo bay.
Yeah.
And they did that for like several years until she like broke down mentally. Then they got the house, and then even within a year, she had
So she basically went crazy while they were in this camper or whatever.
Not justifying that. I'm not saying that's just nope. Please separate. I'm just saying that it was.
I think there was some crazy before the
There was
camper.
crazy before the camper, but I was just thinking. I was watching one of those, like, you know, I love to watch true crime because that calms my nerves, and I was thinking, I was like, shit, if she wasn't crazy before, God, no, good Lord.
It does the opposite to me. I can't watch because that void the narrator and she went here and he did that.
Yes, it calms my nerves.
I'm like, ooh, that makes me think somebody outside and everything. I can't do it. I'm walking around the house with a knife and I heard nothing. It's like,
And they're
What you got in your shirt today, Johnny?
it's different today because I had a class before. That's why I was late to join y'all. So ain't nothing in there.
But what's in the shirt? Is there a Kit
No.
Kat or Snickers?
It's dry today. I do have a Kit Kat, but it's not in my shirt.
Oh.
I always got a Kit Kat. Don't play with me. Don't.
Hey, we got Kit Kat ice cream today, actually.
Ooh.
Jealous.
So I'm not jealous. But you did give me an idea.
You know what you're having for dessert tonight?
Yeah.
You're Okay, so the next question is about reality TV, since we were talking about the HGTV stuff.
Reality.
So is it reality? Will the fishbowl of reality TV ever fade? Will we as a society continue to give status and power to those who create these outrageous and vapid contents under the guise of reality?
First of all, goddamn dictionary, look up half the words you just used.
So should I? Okay, because I don't watch TV, period, because I don't have one. But I want to separate reality TV and trashy reality TV, because I consider even reality TV like, you know, the HGTV shows. Those are not scripted. But then there's like the Housewives of Everywhere, and then Cops, which was the original.
Jeremy Kyle in the UK. That one actually got told. It was so bad.
Cops was the original Kardashians. That
Yes,
was
it was.
I've said this so many times. That was the original.
You are the father.
Yeah, that was the original.
And I always admired that cameraman. I mean, he was always but he kept up with everybody. It's like,
Oh my god!
You know who else I admire too? Speaking of reality TV, the camera crews who go out on the ships with the deadliest catch.
I mean,
You know they seasick, they cold. Hungry.
They see people like, at their worst, because when you're out there and you're sick and you're cold and you're hot, like, you're gonna be an absolute grouch.
And how many people get washed over the edge because those big waves come?
They were a boss. Though those people are a boss for sure.
I would love to like read an entire book of stuff that these like crew members have had to deal with, because I'm sure there's a lot of crazy shit.
Oh man, I was just like,
I live for reading about other people's crazy shit.
they are the OGs. Golly, screw Cops, the deadliest damn catch.
Yes.
It's been on for like 18 damn years, believe it or not.
I know, it's just, and for what's that? Lost. Is that a reality show or a game show?
But
Lost?
I mean, not Lost, but
the Survivor.
Negative
I love how we all
Survivor.
went, what?
Survivor.
Oh, it's supposed to look like a game show. It is like fake though. It's like scripted, I think. So maybe I don't know.
It's a reality show, but it's
Reality.
a game show at the same time, because they have a winner and a loser. So it is still a game show, but it is supposed to be reality, because you have to literally cook your own food and build your own hut. And
But
so
there's
she-
a
They got all the drama and the.
there's a food tent right
yeah,
over
because the
there.
camera crew ain't eating
What
bugs and
happened?
deer. So it's I mean, it's like Bear Grylls, Man's versus Wild. He doesn't sleep all the time in the wild. Sometimes sleeps at the Hilton and then goes and films in the wild. I mean, and I don't even require you to do so, but I'm just saying, tell everybody that though. Don't try to give me the okie doke. Like you just out there, killing wildebeest and living in their skin and all this here. Like,
Also, don't drink tea.
no.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I know you're showing us that you can, but please don't.
It doesn't mean you should.
There's not enough money.
I can't. I just don't.
Doesn't mean it's not gross.
Oh, this
I
tastes
can't.
tangy. No.
So what I got is I don't see the whole reality TV thing stopping anytime soon. This has been a genre for decades. I don't know how long it goes back, but I'm sure it goes back quite probably since there's been TV.
The 80s, Cops was what, 80 something?
Sounds right.
I don't know, but it's been successful for a long time. But the problem is, I don't want to say nobody's learning anything, but maybe we're not learning anything useful. Like there could be more important things that people should be learning about on TV other than like the cat fight between these two, Something else they're dealing with at the moment, these creators and producers, maybe a lot of them feel kind of stuck. And my thinking was that they're running out of ideas. They're having trouble coming up with ideas, stuff that has not, because you can reboot whatever you want from the past. It doesn't mean it's going to be good. And it doesn't mean that your audience is going to think it's that fresh or interesting. So it's coming up with original ideas, I think, has been really hard for a lot of people lately. Some of it is not necessarily like writer's block. Some of it is like they're restricted to what they can come up with. The networks are like, you can be creative, but only within these guidelines. Only creative like this. Okay. What I have is they're looking for other stuff, other things to make shows about, other things to talk about. It's going to keep going because that's what a lot of people find entertaining. And it's worked in the past. Eventually they might bring in, there might be new people that come in and have actually something fresh and interesting to work with. There will be some new good ideas in the future, but I don't see this going away anytime soon.
Show ain't, because we're still a love affair. The ratings are still there with the Two of Cups. It's unfortunately it's strong. Think about it. The Kardashians didn't go away. They just went off E and went to Hulu. Same thing. Greater taste, less filling. Same shit, right? Not to mention, Netflix is about to start doing live TV. There's still, they're trying to. They're working through adding that. As when your stocks fall 1,800%, you got to think.
This is true.
It's actually, I get something I want to say very similar to what Seanna get, and I want to add a little bit to it if you don't mind, Seanna. I'm also getting, I have the Hierophant as well, Hierophant and the Ace of Swords. I'm actually thinking these are the studio heads. These are the network heads are the ones kind of bringing the ideas. It's not the writers themselves. They're using the money to kind of justify. And I'm going to say too, Temperance with the Two of Swords, they need to really kind of think through what's the next step, because they know that, because I almost, and with the Hermit too, but I'm getting as they know if they don't take the right step, this fad is going to end. It's going to retreat. There's only so much they can do, and they don't want to either, because the reason they can't make the decision is because they want the money. They want the ratings. And they don't realize too, the only reason that there are ratings is because there's nothing else there to watch. There's nothing else to watch. It's all about the money too. And with the Ace of Pentacles, but just like Seanna said, my outcome card was actually the Two of Wands. They got to come up with the next thing. Somebody has to somewhere. I beg of you, please.
It's toilets, toilet water.
I watch toilets flush at this point.
A whole show about paint drying.
I've watched that too.
There is a live stream
you know
of
what?
paint drying and grass growing on YouTube.
Really?
It needs to have the same man who voices American Justice. I need that man to be the narrator. And the
You know what I'm thinking?
Color correction.
Is you know those pressure washers? There's some people call it a power washer, and you clean the cement with it. You can clean like your siding or anything. I love watching shit get cleaned with a pressure washer. I would watch a TV show of just that, of people doing that. I might be weird, but I think that would be very sad.
No, because
you'd actually learn something too, maybe.
there is a guy on YouTube. He has like 5 million subscribers. I'm gonna send you the link after this chat ends. All he does is wash his carpets.
What?
Yeah.
Wash his carpets. I swear to God. And these videos are like 45. The shortest one's like 45 minutes. I'm sitting there the whole time like,
It's amazing somehow.
over that spot again. That's dirty, my dude.
They have entire subreddits. Like there's a huge subreddit and it's called power washing porn. Because they just love watching the power washing so much.
This man had to learn he had to learn English. He's in the Czech Republic or something. He had to learn English because everybody was like, more videos. We just watched his videos like, that was real dirty. It is so soothing watching him clean those carpets.
I don't know what it is about watching things get clean. I love it. But then again, I don't like actually cleaning sometimes. That's the struggle.
All of the truths right there, my friend.
My subscription is people making things. I just found another one, Blake Mason or McCormick or whatever. I don't know. He used to play baseball in Canada, and he takes big giant pieces of wood and some other substance. I forget what it's called. And he just makes sculptures and things. And no, it's what is epoxy and something. I forget.
Epoxy, yeah.
Oh,
Whatever that is. He makes sculptures out of it. And I just sit and watch it. It's fascinating.
Somebody makes boxes. She just makes little boxes. She just puts boxes together.
Like the videos somebody buys or finds or whatever, gets like a really crappy old game console, and they actually go and take it apart and clean it, and they fix it, and they teach you how, like what they're doing, and then they get the game running and stuff again. It's like, oh my god, you're like rooting for that little console. I'm like, come on. I also love those.
Just say that too. Somebody rehabilitated a Nintendo.
I don't know how to fix things, but I love watching things get fixed.
It is so soothing. If you want to know what YouTubers watch.
And like, well, it's off topic, but also the hydraulic press channel, where the Russian guy or the whatever, the Finnish guy has a big industrial press in his garage, and he squishes like things like Play-Doh and candy and like stuff just to see what will happen. It's like he's having fun. It's like a big kid doing science.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
It's a great channel.
Send me that one. I'm sending you the rug one.
Okay, I will absolutely send it to you.
I can't watch somebody.
And you can tell he loves it so much because he like laughs and giggles and like he shows his wife, look what happened.
The wonder never left.
I'll have to send you guys the link.
Will it go away? No, this is a judgment thing. It would have been gone by now if people didn't like it. So if you like it, watch it. I mean, I personally don't like them, but then again, I don't have to. So watch something else. You know, why sit and shake your fist at the TV? Why won't you go just watch something else? Some people don't want to think every time they watch something. Some people just want something stupid to happen, something funny to happen, something interesting to happen. Just entertain me. That's what this television is for. Otherwise, I would go get a Sudoku book and sit in the bathroom for 4 hours. So, it's like Adrian said, though, it is hard for it to move on. 6 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, nothing is new. It's just rehashed with different people. Mm-hmm. And so the housewife shows, those situations, those don't exist naturally. They have to take the angry person and the funny person and the drunk person and put them in a party. They wouldn't hang out normally. So this is how you create the reality. And the Star and the 6 of Pentacles, you still get a lot from it. So it's not going anywhere. This is how people become famous, and that's what they really want. They have no entertaining talent like singing and dancing and acting. So they act out. Let me throw a drink in your face and call you a horrible name, and then next thing you know, I'm trending on Twitter, and then
And
you're
they
going to
make a meme out of it.
I create the thing, and and it's like Nene Leakes. They said they were firing her how many times?
Right.
And how many times does she come back? And how many houses and cars can she buy with what you keep paying her because she creates drama?
Mm-hmm.
So it feeds that thing. So it's going to keep going.
I just get so, I don't know, I get so like, ugh. angry when I see like people just like, oh no, it's their brand, or this, this is reality. This is a reality TV. My family, watching my family live 24/7 is entertainment. It just
With
really,
a created scenario, it is.
Yeah.
Because me, I'm sitting here 10 hours a day. That's not interesting.
Right.
But you give me a person I can't stand and a person I do like and a dog, then we're going to find something to laugh about. It's like, what he just called him? Yeah, I called it to it, and I called it to his face too.
Yep.
And I would splash this in his face, but there's a top on it.
You don't check me, boo.
That's what happens.
They're celebrated. All these shows, they're celebrated because they are so friggin' popular. To my chagrin, it's just the wisdom of television and the wisdom of commerce comes into play because it's all ego based. It doesn't matter. None of it's fun. I mean, none of it's good. It's just fun. So people can follow their dreams through this. They gather strength and status and power. The confusing part is it really entertainment? Is it really real? It's not. And I think I'm biased because I hate it so much. I think it tainted my reading.
I mean,
Sometimes
it could
you just wanna
have,
watch
but at the
something
same
crazy.
time, where's the lie in what you just said? So,
Zero lies detected.
Cops was toxic too.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
It sure was.
But it was
No,
fun.
every time it's just some guy with his shirt off.
Lock
He's
his
like, run.
ass. Standing outside.
I'm telling you that. It's like that was entertaining to me.
I'm telling you.
How many times can you see a guy run down? Like this one where he had a joint behind his ear, and the cop was like, "Sir, have you been intoxicated?" or whatever? He's like, "No, officer."
It's like then you listen to the song, you don't know about your now, Ricky, no Ricky. You don't know what he's saying. It's like, yes, come on, song. It's like you don't know what that man's saying.
Jam though, man, because you know.
I loved everything about it, and it was toxic as hell.
Two songs. When I hear them come on the TV, I'm like, okay, it's about to be a good night. When I hear Bon Jovi sing I'm a cow, I'm like, oh, deadliest catch. And then when I hear but it can don't make it like
Bad boys.
it's about to be good.
That song was something else. That whole thing, the whole production was good. It was just a toxic jam.
It's so stupid. Like the worst. It's the worst of the worst.
But it's like at that time of night, you can watch this, the news, and Gunsmoke or something. Like other than that, I don't want to watch no Western, and I don't want to watch the news. Let me watch this toxic TV with this man, this usually black dude being chased down by the cops.
Or somebody in West Virginia standing outside their trailer park. Lock his ass up. Don't come for me, anybody in West Virginia.
That's true.
Okay, let's see. Let's last question. Do spirits stick around until their affairs are sorted, or do they wait to see if their wishes are honored by the living? Do they wait to see who takes what is not theirs? So do spirits stick around just to see what the living is going to do with their stuff?
Look at that heifer. Look at that heifer. She always been eyeing them damn
I
shoes.
knew she was going to take it. I knew she would take
Ass. Look at her ass. Couldn't wait till I was dead.
it. It ain't even in the ground yet.
With her streaky ass orange bronzer.
Oh.
Oh my God.
There's a story I want to tell, but it hits a little too close to home, and I am so scared that like somebody in my family is watching this because I want to hear this story so bad. I want to tell this story so bad because it's so. Ooh, this hussy was wrong.
Oh gosh, so many fights.
Ooh, this hussy was wrong. She knew she was wrong.
Oh well.
Let's see through the stair terror.
Okay, so I have that some people, they really do try to stick around because they think and feel like they can still help their loved ones.
Mm.
And maybe some can, and maybe there's times, where you can influence them, but there are times where you can't. So they also stick around until it becomes time for them to accept that they can't change something. Sometimes everything works out, and yep, oh yep, the grandkids buried me here, and they spread the ashes over here just like I wanted. Sometimes that's great, it works out, it's fine. They're like, sure, whatever, let's move on. Sometimes that doesn't happen, or the family does something against the person's wishes. They have to learn how to accept that it didn't necessarily go the way they expected or the way they wanted. And it's almost like they have to accept that in order to move forward. Like, okay, you can't stick around and wait for something basically that is not going to happen. I think though the people who do it, they do it with a good intention, because it's like, no, I really want to make sure things are okay. I can't leave knowing that like something has been left unsaid or undone. I have the judgment card. They have to kind of learn that it's not their call anymore. That might sound really bad, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
They can have their wishes, but it doesn't mean they're able to give instructions anymore. So they got to learn how to either deal with it, or they get lucky and the family does what they do want. Whatever. That's what I have.
Did you want to go, Johnny? You want me to go?
Oh, face.
I mean, I just expected a different answer is all.
To stick around to see how things are sorted out, not necessarily, because it's not tangible things. They're sticking around to see how the family deals with the aftermath. It could be because of money or things, but it's more of how is the family going to come together. I need what's going to be illuminated. Are they going to be okay? Also, too, if there were secrets or things that were not discussed, they kind of stick around too to see if they will uncover and figure that out. Sometimes, too, they may even try to leave little hints. I know my mother did, because she died very unexpectedly, and we were like, oh my God, where do we find this? Where do we find that? And it was like we would get weird little like a random email from her email account after she was dead. And then we would trace it back, and that would link us to something else to help pull all the pieces together. So that's a very extreme example, but mind you, sometimes they do kind of stick around. It's, we petty as humans. That doesn't necessarily just go away once we transition over. But yeah, it's more to see how are they going to come together? Can they come together is more of what I'm getting with the Three of Pentacles. So not necessarily, I didn't get anything about stuffs other than the Three of Pentacles.
Yeah, we read my cards because that's what I got. There is the Ten of Pentacles, so the family and the legacy. is very important. They also want to see how things pull together or not, because I get the Sun with the success and the Page of Cup with the surprises. And so they do want to see how the people were, not necessarily the things themselves. Even though the Pentacles are tangible, it does speak of the legacy, the family tree. And here, the Judgment and the Tower, until they're yanked away, like Seanna said, until you have no choice. And we didn't. This is not how this works. So you can't just linger around to see. Oh, she got my sofa. I didn't really want her to get it. I thought he was. No, that's not how that works. Come hither. So it's. They just kind of stick around to see the joy or the not so much joy type thing.
Yeah, they stick around because of the connection, that the heart connection. There's new beginnings, not just for them, but for everybody that they left behind through their illness. People come together sometimes when people get ill, and that, I don't know if that's a lasting thing, but sometimes also fighting happens over things. But there's wisdom there. When the person passes over, they become consciousness again. Because there has been an ending. Now they are ancestors, and they're journeying into the unknown. But before they journey, they take a listen to see what's happening to their people. Let's listen in. Let's just check it out, see how everybody's doing. But it's all about love. It's all about the love between them and the people that they leave behind. So you're right. It's not really about things. It's about the heart. It's about just sticking around, making sure that people are going to be okay, which is all that we can ask for, I guess, from them for their last, they're not their last things, because they're still around us somehow. And I guess my girlfriend passed away just recently, a few days ago, and it's been really hard. So this question is something that it just sort of in my head. But yeah, so now I know that I feel, and I've been told that she is still around. So we've got some conversation to do. So thank you guys for being here today. It was great to laugh just for a little while, and laugh more. Try to figure out ways to laugh more. Hug your neighbors, hug your loved ones, hug your dogs, cats, your fish, whatever you can hug. Get some loving in there somewhere. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful to you for your support. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.